This video will show you how to remove the stock catback exhaust and catted down pipes on all 2021 and newer 2.7 liter EcoBoost Broncos.
Now we're going to start right at the back of our muffler. We've got a 15mm nut on this clamp that we're going to loosen up, and then we can go after our hangers. Next we'll grab an exhaust hanger remover tool to remove our two hangers, and then we can wiggle this out of place. Just get a hand on that before you pop the second one free. And then you can just start wiggling this out of place. Next we can follow our mid pipe up to the flange. We have two 15mm nuts we need to remove, and then we can pop off these two 13mm bolts as well. So I'm gonna grab a 13mm socket first and remove this hanger bracket. And then I'm grabbing a 15mm swivel socket for the two flange nuts. Now we can follow this pipe back from the flange to our hanger. We'll take the exhaust hanger remover tool to pop that out, and then we can remove this whole pipe. So now with our catback out of the way, we're gonna start working on our cats and our downpipes. Now the first thing we're gonna do is come to our fender well and remove our fender liner. We have a bunch of Phillips head screw clips as well as push clips and a couple screws holding this in place. So now we're gonna start from the back side and work our way forward. Now all of these Phillips head screw clips, what you're gonna do is you're gonna get a finger on the outer edge and then get a Phillips head screwdriver on the center section. You don't want to put a lot of pressure on the screwdriver because you can just push this right back into the clip. If it stops pulling out, you can get a clip remover tool in there while you twist to apply a little pressure. And now at the top here, we have a few 7mm screws. So I'm gonna take a 7mm socket for those. Now moving towards the front, we're gonna start at the bottom. You can ignore these three clips and get the two below them with the clip remover tool. Save that leaf for later. And now we can get our last two 7mm screws and pull this whole liner out. Now we can start above the strut tower here. And now repeat that process on the other side. Next, I'm gonna remove this bracket that was right behind our fender liner. This is gonna be in the same spot on both sides. This is just gonna give us a little more access to get in there, to get to our O2 sensor connectors that are way back in there. So take a 10mm socket to remove the nut. And then you can grab a clip remover tool to get back behind that clip and pop that out of place. I'm just gonna throw that nut back on there so we don't lose it. And then do that same thing on the other side. So now we can follow these O2 sensor wires back. We've got the one that you can see coming off our upstream, but then that blue wire back there is for our downstream. Both the connectors are right next to each other. This is really the only good look you can get at this, and I'm gonna block the entire thing once I get my hand in there. but you're just gonna reach back to those connectors, push in on the tabs, and remove them. So there we've got the downstream connector. You've just got that black tab. We'll get that out of the way. Now on the upstream, there is a red locking tab on the other side that you're gonna have to push out before you can press in on the tab to remove it. Now we can remove our upstream O2 sensor here. So you can grab a 7/8 wrench or a 22mm wrench, or if you have a specific O2 sensor socket, you can use that as well. And then once you break that free, you can twist it to remove it. Now you can hold the wire up and make this a little bit easier so it doesn't get twisted up. And now we'll go down to the downstream and do that same thing. Now the downstream is a little bit more difficult to get to. You can break it loose with your wrench from underneath. This is the only side you're gonna really be able to see, and then you can get a hand on it from above to twist it the rest of the way out. So once you have that loose and spinning, you can come from the top here and twist it out. So now we're gonna do the same thing on the other side, removing the O2 sensors. The connectors are in a slightly different place on the other side, so I'm gonna show you where those are and how to remove them. Now on the other side, our two connectors for our O2 sensors are on the outside of the transmission here. So for our downstream, we can get up under from here and just push in the tab and pull out. And then our upstream, we can come from the top here. We can slide towards the front of the car to pop that out. There's gonna be that red tab that you wanna pull out, and then you can push in on the gray and pop that connector out. Now that red tab is exactly the same on the other side. That's the one that you couldn't see. So now we can start on removing our cats. Next we can come to our flange here at the back of our turbo and remove our two nuts. There's one over here and there's one behind it that you're not gonna be able to see. Now I'm gonna grab a 15mm socket to remove these two nuts. Now depending on how many miles your Bronco has, these might be a little rusty, in which case you wanna be very careful when you remove these nuts because you don't wanna snap these turbo studs. Now if you're feeling it bind up when you're loosening it up, just flip the ratchet, go back to tightening and work it back and forth to work some of that free. If you have a lot of rust on the threads, you can use a wire brush before you start loosening up these nuts. So I'm going to start on the inside here, because this one's going to be a pain. And then we can work on the outside one. And then do that exact same thing on the other side. Next we can come to the clamp at our crossover pipe here. We're gonna take a 16mm wrench and loosen that up. So now we have to work on fishing out our down pipes. So to do that, we're gonna have to remove this whole cross member. Now our gas tank skid plate overlaps this, so we're gonna have to fully remove these two bolts and loosen up some of the bolts working backwards. Now before you start this, you're gonna grab a pole jack if you're doing this on a lift to support your transfer case. Don't have it hanging too much. If you're doing it on the ground, you can do that with a floor jack. So I'm gonna grab an 18mm socket, remove these two, loosen up these two, and the one on the other side. Now we can come to the center of our cross member. We have two 21mm nuts up here. So I'm going to grab a 21mm socket with a good extension and loosen those up and remove them. Now we can start working on the mounts for our cross member. We've got 18mm nuts and 15mm bolts. So I'm taking a 15mm swivel socket with an 18mm wrench to loosen all of these up. Now I'm gonna leave one bolt in at each of these points until I can go grab a buddy to help me lift this out, just so we don't drop it. Now I'll pull one of these out, leave the other one in for now. And now we can do that same thing on the forward mount. Again, I'm gonna leave one of those bolts in. Now I'm gonna go grab myself a buddy. We're gonna start prying and hammering to get this out. So now I've got myself a buddy. We've got some pry bars. We're gonna pull those remaining bolts out. We've got one on each corner left. And then we're gonna work on prying this down. We might bottom out on this gas tank skid plate here. We have a little bit of flex, so hopefully we'll have enough. Otherwise, we might have to loosen up some more bolts. And now we just gotta sneak this out from under that skid plate. Next, we have to remove our two mounts that are holding this crossover pipe hanger in place. We've got two 15mm bolts on this one. We have the same on the other side, but we also have an extra bolt, one 15mm that we can remove to pop that side off. So now I'm gonna take a 15mm swivel socket to remove these two bolts, and that'll unbolt our little rubber isolator here. So on this side, we're gonna start with that 15mm bolt, and then we can pull our bracket off here, and then we're gonna remove the two 15s there once we have more access to those bolt heads. So I've got a 15mm ratcheting wrench. Break that loose, and then we can just remove that. And then we'll grab that 15mm socket, pop these bolts out. I'm gonna get a hand on here to support the weight. Now that we have our mount removed, I grabbed myself a buddy. We're gonna try to wiggle this out of place.
Thanks for watching, and remember, for all things Bronco, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.